Hi, Andrew. Thank you for coming back. Just kind of summarize what we discussed last. We talked a little bit about some challenges with weight loss and some health concerns, not just for you, but especially based on your family history.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
Yep.
So, taking a little, taking a more in-depth look at that, it sounds like weight loss is something that's pretty important to you.
It is important to me, but I actually was able to think a lot about it since the last time we met, and it is important to me. Like, I want to be healthier, I want to be better to myself, but if it feels like it's not just for myself anymore, it feels like I'm more concerned about the people around me because I really value the relationships that are in my life, and the idea of me not being here very long is really scary to me, and not being able to help them. So it's which makes it even hard to be motivated to lose the weight because I feel like it should just be all about me for such a big challenge, but I care about the other people.
Sounds like, aside from the weight loss, there's a lot of other things that you really place a lot of importance on, especially the people around you, your family and friends. So, well, let's talk about some of those things that are important to you.
Okay.
You mentioned family, friends, and the people around you. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, and I mean, really, what started that train of thought since last time was that my mother passed away recently, and it was due to health problems that
I'm really sorry to hear that.
I appreciate it. They were really health problems that at least me sitting on the outside, I thought could have been fixed. And the impact of her not being here on the rest of the family and the people that are her friends is the more hurtful part right now. It's actually hurting me, and if I put myself in that place, if I die a lot younger, what's going to happen to those people that I'm around? And so it made me realize that, like, I do value the other people around me a lot more, really, than I value myself, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, I value that relationship, I value those friendships, and want to make sure I'm around to help.
And it seems like you just watched somebody that's was very, very close to you, experienced similar things, like health-wise, and you saw a really negative consequence from that, and the effects that consequence has had on your family and also on yourself. And there's a concern that it may happen to you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big concern of mine, and don't really know where to go from there.
So I feel a little bit without direction in terms of what's the next step.
Yes, exactly. Lost in the woods without a compass.
But at least you're recognizing these things now, and it sounds like you're willing to make a change, but also that you're aware of basically what needs to change. Unfortunately, of course, it was, from experiencing something pretty painful, but maybe it can turn into a positive experience, in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the best way to try to look at it. It's still hard to look at it that way, but yeah, in the future, I'm hoping that will be what it becomes.
Family and family and friends are something I seem to value a lot, especially how you mentioned sometimes a lot more than yourself, or they'll take priority. Thinking about your values, can you tell me a little bit more about maybe other things that you value?
It's a great question. Some of the things I do value besides like those relationships. I mean, I do. It kind of seems counterintuitive, counterproductive, but like I also do value my own time, value my own personal time. I become a very reflective person. Like I need time to process and reflect before I can really do things. So I really truly do value some of that time, and to just be silent with myself, and that's a big value of mine. I value stability. I feel like right now, being a college student, there's no stability, and working as a profession that I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford everything, it's petrifying. So I value that, and I didn't have that as a child. We lived in a very unstable environment for family, so things I strive for and things I value.
And it sounds like the things that you value do align a lot with ultimately your goal in terms of valuing your time by yourself, valuing stability, which are some of the things that are pretty well related to some of the things that we've talked about for weight loss.
Yeah.
So how do you feel these all of these values align with your goal and your progress that you can make towards your goal?
I think that's the challenging part, because it's hard for me to see how they directly relate and how they directly influence each other, which is why I think I'm struggling so much with the weight loss, because I feel all these other values are much more of a priority. It doesn't, like, me achieving stability doesn't matter if I lost weight. I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter in that aspect, and so I think that's where my challenges are coming from.
So you have this goal that is very important to you, and you also have caring for friends and family, and somewhat of a sense of responsibility and duty to them, and that those factors can sometimes come in conflict.
Good.
Cool.